Hi there, this is Rob back with a 2-minute overnight overview for August 16, 2012. The market is now officially boring with almost no movement in the last few days. Let's start today by taking a peek at the overnight Edge Finder from yesterday afternoon. The Edge Finder identified some interesting and conflicting studies on Wednesday. We saw two bullish studies trigger. The first looked at low range days and uptrends, and the second examined the fact that ES moved in opposite directions of its gap for the second day in a row and closed at a new 10-day high. Both suggested a 73% chance of a gap up on Thursday. On the bearish side, there were three studies that were all closely related. They considered the extremely light volume at a new price high and all suggested between a 60 and 65% chance of a gap down. So before even looking at the odds sheet, we saw conflicting evidence. Now here's the odds sheet, and this didn't make it look any more compelling to take a position. All of the averages showed a very close to a 50-50 chance of a gap up, and profit factors were all pretty close to 1, meaning break-even odds. Only QQQ was close to qualifying. It was leaning a little bullish. Overall, the bottom line showed no strong edge, which means no trade for me. Here's a quick look to see how it played out last night. The close happened at 1403.5. ES traded mostly higher during the overnight, remaining in a narrow 5-point range the entire time. The 9:30 open saw ES gap up a mild 1.75 points. Gaps overall were mixed, with the Nasdaq doing the best. Let's quickly flip to a daily chart. We had a gap up this morning and again are trying for another 50-day high. I showed briefly yesterday that a gap up and a 50-day high has suggested a bearish inclinations over the years. Here's a little bit more detail. As you can see, gaps down have occurred nearly twice as often as gaps up. Gross declines have been more than twice gross gains. If we look at the year-by-year returns, we see that we have yet to see a year this century in which the setup has led to net gains. And lastly, here is the profit curve I showed yesterday.